Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that will be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 12th of May. The first important news, that is ICMR and AYUSH Ministry sign agreement on research. Second, GST e-invoicing to include smaller firms. The changes has been proposed by the Ministry of Finance. Third, I am Ranchi to study Man Ki Baat. We'll see the detail. Fourth, US engages with India on human right. The last is an editorial with great power and respect. Recently, the Honorable Supreme Court has come on the clear verdict signifying the part of the powers between the governor, the lieutenant governor of the Delhi, and even the chief minister of Delhi. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. And just to remind you about the prelims mock test, this is prelims mirror mock India mock test that will help you to excel in the real examination. The date is scheduled at 14th of May. Both papers will be included, General Studies paper 1 and the CSAT paper. If you have not registered yet, make sure you are registering. I have provided a dedicated link in the description section from where you can be redirected to register yourself and avail the benefits of All India mock test that is scheduled for 14th of May. Now starting with the first news, that is ICMR AYUSH Ministry sign agreement on research, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is issues related to development and management of health. So recently what has happened, that ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, and the Ministry of AYUSH have signed an agreement on collaborations and cooperation on research in field of integrated medicine. Right? Now the term that is important here is what is integrated medicine. So this refers to using of alternative medicines, like we have Ayurveda, which is a long tradition practice of medicine in India. Then we have yoga, naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy with orthodox system as a part of the treatment. So this is basically called as the integrated medicine, right? Now, the part of the details that is there with the IMU, the MOU जो sign की गई है, इसके बारे में कुछ देख लेते हैं. So the agreement envisages the cooperations and the collaborations between the ministry and ICMR on exploring the convergence and synergy of integrated healthcare research and strengthening the capacity, right? So this is again important when it comes to the part of knowing what exactly is there in the MOUs. The agreement will focus on promoting the high impact scientific research, चाहे वो identifications हो, even the part of the things that is important for healthcare will be prioritized in the MOUs. Now, according to the Ministry of Health, some other part that will be taken care will be memorandum of understanding on the combined traditional knowledge with modern research and boost Ayurveda identity on the basis of the scientific evidences. Now, significance की अगर बात करें, the agreement between the ministry and the AYUSH and the ICMR will look into the part of conducting the high quality joint research clinical trial, जो बहुत सारे various diseases हैं, therapeutics part, even the AYUSH system to generate the evidence on the wider acceptance will be taken into consideration. These are the significant that ultimately will help the medical fraternity and even the part of the AYUSH ministry so that they can experiment further. Both institutions and the formula are implemented in the joint research product ताकि जो joint supervision activities हैं उनको promote की जा सके. It will design and conduct the conferences, workshops, seminars with participation of research interested in the field of integrated healthcare. Now, moving to the other news, GST invoicing to include the smaller firms, something important for General Studies paper 3. That is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. The central government has made it mandatory for the small firm with the annual turnover of 5 crore rupees or more to issue the invoicing business or business to supplies from 1st of August 2023. Earlier, this amount was 10 करोड़. नो गवर्नमेंट ने इसमें रिविजन की है. अब जिनकी भी टर्नओवर स्मॉल फर्म की 5 करोड़ भी होंगी, दे विल हैव टू get into the e-invoicing. The decision is aimed to check the GST invasions and reduce dispute over the input tax credit and compliance easy. That is what an official said. Now about the e-invoicing under the GST. E-invoicing or electronic invoicing is a system where B2B, that is business to business invoicing, are generated, and these documents are authenticated by the part of electronically GSTN. जो GSTN network बनाई गई, Goods and Services Tax Network, will further have a common portal for the GST, right? And in 35th meeting of the GST Council, the implementation process was taken into consideration, and finally the government has approved that mostly large enterprises that is having 10 crore rupees as a net profit will be eligible for this, mandatory eligible for this. Now the amount has been reduced to 5 crore. So later it has expanded the cover to medium size and even for the small business as well. Now क्या क्या benefits हैं e-invoicing की, how this will benefit and how the tax evasion part will be taken care of. There are some other benefits also. First, e-invoicing involved the plugs and major gaps in the data reconciliation under the GST to reduce the mismatch error. E-invoicing creates one software that can be readied, allowing the interoperability that will help to reduce the entry errors. Real-time tracking होगी invoicing की, so that the supplier can enabling the part of the e-invoice. Faster availability of genuine input tax credit, and last but not least, that is lesser possibility of audit survey by the tax authority, since जितने भी informations होंगे वो already transition level के तौर पे जो GSTN की portal है वहाँ पे update होंगे. Now, to conclude the part, what we have discussed, that this move is something that will lower the part of invoicing threshold coupled with rolled out automatic scrutiny aimed at expanding the part of the GST tax net. Modules implemented at the commenced with the security of the GST return will be 1920. It will enable officers to scrutinize the return. Center administered taxpayer will be there, and the tax expert says that the move in line with the government efforts to crack down the fake invoicing and GST invasion which is there. Now, moving to the other news, I am Ranchi to study Man Ki Baat. This is a weekly show which Prime Minister hosts on All India Radio to share his views and the things that is of national importance. Something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So days after the IIM Rohtak, that is the one IIM that has already conducted some of the research. So they have studied the Prime Minister Man Ki Baat that have reached 100 crore people over the last 8 years, and nearly 96% of the country populations are aware of it. Now further a research will be conducted by IIM Ranchi on the same Man Ki Baat, where they will study the part of episodes on a monthly radio program that will be made public with help. That will definitely help the policy makers, the researcher, to look into the part that how actually the impact was there at the ground, right? So IIM director has said that the program has been selected to study at as emerged as a unique initiative that help government to establish and connect the people and played a crucial role in creating the national discourse on these issues. Now the conduct of survey, how the things will proceed, the roadmap. So the study is intended to undertake the part of themes and the keyword that will comprehend the different issues. So whatever the priority was there will be accordingly taken so that it can further be studies in the policy and research work. The Indian Institute of Ranchi would be conducting the study, analyzing the part of themes and issues address of 100 episode of Man Ki Baat, a radio program by which the Prime Minister addressed the nation. Now, this study would also be surveyed with assessment of any government scheme that is there. Rather, it would also focus on creating an archive that will issues raised during the part of the episode of the program and create an archive that would be useful for research and policymaker. The director said that the study would be completed in a month and the report would be published soon, the part of the study that is complete. Now, moving to the other news, that is White House engaged with India on human rights, something important for General Studies Paper 2. that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So, US is hosting Prime Minister of India. The United States President has, basically they have come with the official clarification and the notice that the Prime Minister of India will be making an official visit on 22nd of June 2023, and both countries will work towards deepening the bilateral ties. The visit will strengthen two countries' commitment on the part of free, open, and prosperous, secure Indo-Pacific, and even the shared visions to elevate the strategic partnership will be included as a part of defense, clean energy, and space. Now, human right concern is something that is important. Even if you see the part of the ranking that is there for the human right, even for the part of the ranking that has come up for the Press Freedom Index. So the violation of human right is evident. The US is concerned about this. So the Prime Minister with both countries will discuss the issues related to the human rights. United States administration has noted that it encouraged the countries to uphold the human right obligations, commitment, and work together building an inclusive society. कुछ और priorities areas की बात करें, they will be looking into the part of the military engagement that can be enhanced, military equipments, semiconductor, and AI, that is artificial intelligence. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, with great power and respect. So something very, very important editorial. I'll tell you why it is important. First, let's see where it is important in General Studies paper 2. That is important aspects of governance, transparency, accountability, and e-governance. This is written by Sailaja Chandra, who is a former Chief Secretary of Delhi. Now, what is the main issue and theme and the focus of this editorial? The theme is about the Delhi and the center power role. We'll see the important issues like observations of the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, amendment of the NCTD Act, matters of jurisdictions, and the bottom line. Now, why this editorial is important? Because recently the judgment by the Honorable Supreme Court had set a precedent, right, where the part of the core value of the governance has been established again. This news is a bit political also, but we are more concerned on the part of the constitutionality of this and how the governance in the country can be established with the elected government. Another part that is important in this editorial is you need to understand the proactiveness of the judiciary and the faith and the judicial precedence which is still exists in the country like India. India is a country which is also called the mother of the democracy. So these kind of judgment will set a precedent and it will be having an impact for a longer time. So it's specifically important for General Studies paper 4 also in the case studies and also for the interview purposes. This type of judgment is very important. Now, in a unanimous verdict, the Supreme Court has recently ruled that the Delhi government has the legislative and executive power over the services. So services is something that is there for any government that is operating. Any elected government has to provide services. But in Delhi, there's some exception that is there. I'll tell you what are the exception. The first, proceeding further, that while hearing the petitions of the center versus Delhi government over the demarcations of the power, जो constitutional bench थी, five head bench जो judges थे, उन्होंने constitutional bench ने कहा that the elected government have the power over the administration. And it refuses with the 2019 judgment where Ashok Bhushan, justice, has said that no power will lie with the Delhi government when it comes to the services. उस चीज को सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने रिजेक्ट किया है. And finally, the constitutional bench, which was headed by 5 judges, had unanimously given that the power in Delhi would rest with the elected government when it comes to services, excepting 3 things. What are the 3 things? I'll tell you. Now, the 3 things that is there, the first is police, that will not be there with the state government, land, that will not be there with the state government, and law and order. Ultimately, if police is not there, it makes a sense that the law and order will also be not there, the part of it, right? So the observations of Lieutenant Governor for Delhi, the apex court has noted that the Lieutenant Governor should have to abide by aid and advice of the Council of Ministers on matter, except the part of police, land, and law and order. And the court has also made it clear that there is no requirement of the concurrent on the part of the governance and has no power to overrule the decision of the state government. So he should work in conformity in the part of the coordination that is there between the chief minister, that is an elected representative, and the lieutenant governor, which is an agent of central government. You know, governor is some, constitutionally they are called as the agent of central government. So he is more or less representing the part of the center. Now, amendment to NCTD Act, that is the National Capital Territory of Delhi, there was an amendment that was passed to supplement the constitutional provisions of Article 239 AA. So this article called for creation for local legislature or the Council of Ministers, both for the creation of union territories. And the Supreme Court read it out that the Parliament legislative power on all matter of the state list and concurrent list, but it has said that the government of Delhi has a exclusive power, and even if the part of the legislative assembly has a power to legislate. Now, I'll tell you briefly what is 239 AA. If you want, you can read it more through the Google search, because there are a lot of details that is there, and that is not important for you. You have to know that this is something related to which come was by 69 amendment, right? And 1991 that called for the national capital of Delhi, and that have called for the administering power to the governor and even providing power to the state government. And there should be legislative assembly in the national capital territory, and the total number of the seat in the assembly and the number of the seat should be reserved for other terms and conditions that is there for a general provision. If you want, there are a lot of other numbers quoting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can read out, but more important is that this is relating to the special provision with respect to Delhi, and this is under part 8 of the constitution. Now, matter of jurisdiction is again something important. The court further noted that the lieutenant governor should not act in a mechanical manner without due applications of the mind, and wherever it is required, the decision of the Council of Ministers should be taken, and even if it requires a consultation with the president can be taken. The parliament can legislate on the Delhi and matter of the state list on the concurrence, but the exclusive power in relations to Delhi, except the police, land and public order, rest with the state government headed by the chief minister. Now, bottom line, the Supreme Court gave wise advice to the lieutenant governor, and he said that the Supreme Court has noted that we may reiterate the part of the constitutional scheme adopted by the NCT Delhi, that is National Capital Territory of Delhi, to receive the Council of Ministers and the representative on one hand, and lieutenant governor as a nominee of the president. This is what you must have read in Lakshmikant's book, nominee or agent of president or agent of central government, where it required to maintain the harmony within the government and the constitutional parameter. This is what the Supreme Court has said. And it said that the constitutional morality will require a strict adherence to constitutional principle, collaborative federalism, constitutional balances, and the concept of constitutional governance. A very important judgment that will definitely set a precedence when it comes to the chief minister of Delhi and the lieutenant governor, and overall considering the fact the country like India, where democratic values should be an epitome when it comes to governance, this type of judgment will be definitely setting a precedent. You must take a note of this. You can even read more deeper to get a better understanding, although I have covered most of the relevant point that was required for examination purposes. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day, before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option was B. For second question, the correct option was A. Today's MCQ for practice about the jute sector. It is mandated to procure raw jute with quantitative limit growing for minimum support price. At present, 50% of the food grain and 20% of the sugar are required to mandatorily packed, right? Now, the second question is about the parliamentary committee. Consider the following statement. The panel of the parliament has appointed as an elected house with a nominated speaker. Now, the chairman of the the public account committee is chosen from the ruling party. So you have to check for the correct option, which among the following is correct one. Just read out the statement, choose accordingly. Practicing a lot more question will help you to get an edge over the upcoming prelims examination. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can reach out to us. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.